You start speaking and someone cuts in. The group follows their voice, not yours. You pause, then decide whether to fight or fade. This keeps happening even when you know your point matters. It feels subtle, but it chips at your presence. This is not about volume or aggression. It is about how people read your internal state. Fix that, and interruptions drop without confrontation. Once you understand the shift, you stop reacting and start controlling the social rhythm calmly. This shows up at work, with friends, and in meetings. It happens more often to calm, thoughtful people. You wait for the right moment to speak, while others do not wait at all. You try to be polite and flexible, but the room reads that flexibility as optional. When you get interrupted, you may explain more or talk faster to recover, and that usually makes it worse. Over time, you start to feel invisible or quietly tested. You notice who talks over you and replay the moments later. The pattern feels personal, but it is structural. Social groups constantly adjust status signals in real time. Interruptions are not insults, they are feedback. Once you understand that, the sting fades. More importantly, it becomes clear where control actually lives. People interrupt based on perceived conversational certainty. Not confidence, but certainty. Certainty signals that a thought is already finished internally before it is spoken. When your delivery feels adjustable, other people adjust it for you. Pauses, soft starts, and visible self-editing invite overlap. In group settings, people do not hear your content first. They sense your commitment to the floor. If that commitment feels weak or flexible, someone fills the space. This usually happens without awareness. Most interrupters are not trying to dominate you. They are responding to gaps, not to you as a person. The important shift is understanding that certainty is behavioral, not verbal. It shows up before your words fully land. Your breathing, stillness, and pacing lead the interaction. When those signals are steady, people wait. When they feel scattered or hesitant, people step in to stabilize the flow. This reframes the problem completely. You do not need sharper wording, louder delivery, or stronger opinions. You need a clearer internal endpoint. When your body signals that your thought has a defined start and finish, the group senses it immediately. Once that signal is clear, others naturally follow your lead. That is where control actually begins. Start speaking from a still body. Plant your feet or sit back fully before you begin. Take one quiet breath before the first word. This stabilizes your nervous system and sets the tone. Begin with a complete sentence, not a warm-up or a soft entry. Avoid filler phrases that make your thought feel negotiable. Speak slightly slower than feels natural, and keep your head level. Do not skin faces while you are mid-sentence. These small choices signal ownership of the floor without effort. Stillness creates contrast, and contrast pulls attention without force. The breath prevents vocal rush, which often invites overlap. A slower pace reduces the small timing windows where others feel compelled to jump in. Starting with a complete opening frames your thought as already whole. People sense there is a destination, so they wait for it. If someone begins to interrupt, do not speed up or react. Hold the same pace and finish the sentence. Your calm continuation resets the group's rhythm. In most cases, the interruption dissolves on its own. This works because it changes prediction. The room no longer predicts permission or uncertainty. It predicts completion. That prediction shapes behavior, and behavior adjusts around you naturally. Remove micro-concessions while you are speaking. Do not nod as if asking for agreement while holding the floor. Avoid smiling to soften your point. Keep gestures minimal and deliberate. End sentences with a downward tone and avoid trailing inflection that sounds unfinished. After you finish speaking, pause. Let the silence clearly mark completion instead of rushing to fill it. If you are interrupted mid-sentence, resume at the same volume and pace. Do not apologize. Do not restart or explain why you were speaking. These behaviors reduce negotiability, and negotiability invites competition. A non-negotiable delivery feels calm, not rigid. It signals self-trust. People respect self-trust automatically, without needing to think about it. This is not about winning conversational turns or overpowering others. It is about reducing ambiguity. Clear signals create clarity in the group. When clarity is present, social friction drops. The group relaxes into structure instead of jockeying for space. As a result, you become easier to listen to, and interruptions lose their momentum naturally. In a meeting, you begin speaking with a full sentence after a quiet breath. A colleague tries to jump in halfway through. You do not react. You continue evenly and finish your thought. The interruption fades, and the room stays with you. Nothing needs to be corrected. The moment resolves itself. In a group conversation, you sit back, speak slightly slower, and hold a steady eye line. Someone overlaps for a second. You do not change pace or expression. They stop and listen. The group adjusts to your rhythm without anyone acknowledging it out loud. In a one-on-one setting, the other person talks quickly and energetically. You let them finish. When you speak, your pacing is grounded and deliberate. Within a few sentences, they slow down to match you. In each case, nothing aggressive happens. There is no calling out and no raised voice. The change is internal, but it is visible. The group responds to clarity, not force. After a few repetitions, the pattern shifts. You experience fewer tests. When interruptions do appear, they resolve quickly. Over time, consistency teaches people how to treat you, and the dynamic stabilizes around your presence. The most common mistake is trying to assert verbally instead of behaviorally. Saying things like, "Let me finish," or explaining why your point matters often backfires. Another error is speeding up to compete or adding humor to regain approval. These moves signal insecurity under pressure, even when your idea is solid. They may bring short-term relief, but they weaken long-term presence. Waiting for permission through excessive eye contact is another trap. It makes interruptions feel justified. The real fix is not correction in the moment. It is prevention. Once certainty is visible, interruptions rarely need addressing. You are no longer managing reactions. You are managing signals. Your presence sets the tone before words are spoken. Conversations naturally slow around you, and interruptions become rare and brief. This is quiet authority. Practice the still start and the steady finish. Use it everywhere. If this helped, stay with this channel. We build calm respect step by step.